Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are updating my reading journal with the books I read in November, and I have to say I didn't read a lot this month. Maybe it was because I read a lot in October and I was pretty tired by the end of it, but I'm actually really happy with the ones I read. So let's start by making the cover spread for November. I have a few sticker sheets from Ikigai Papir and a die-cut sticker of a girl in a kimono from PaperMonogatari, and even though she has a little bit of pink, I think she matches quite well with this theme that is autumn in Japan. You guys know by now that I make a lot of collages in my journals. I love doing them and I think I prefer that over drawing. I love drawing as well, but I think I have much more fun when I do collages, so we are doing one again for this cover page. I always start by choosing the main focal point of the page. In this case it will be the girl sticker. Then I make a background and I just keep layering things over each other until I'm happy with the result. I'm also going to link all the materials I can on the description down below, together with my affiliate links and discount codes if you are interested in anything you see. These silicone stamps are a little spoiler from an advent calendar that I got from Ikigai Papir as well, but I really liked the font and the size was perfect, so I decided to use the stamps instead of writing my title. But for some reason my ink pad wasn't really working very well, so I just used an orange and a yellow marker to go over it and really match the color to the rest of the page. Then for the other side I'm just making another collage, and it's not going to be a functional page, this is literally for decoration and to use more of the stickers. I'm really trying to use as much stationery as I can, especially my sticker sheets. I have a lot of them because I'm a Patreon of Runa Maruti, which if you want to see, I used her stickers last month. I really love her designs and the art is really beautiful, and I'm also subscribed for Sticky Club, so every month I receive a few sticker sheets and I have to put them to use. So when I can, I try to really use all the stickers on the sheet, or at least most of them, so I can go through my stash more quickly, because stickers have to be used, not just sitting there collecting dust. Now we can move on to the next spread, that is all the things I read this month, including books, mangas or manhwas. I'm just going to decorate around the spread and leaving the center untouched, because there is where I'm going to put the covers for the books. And actually, talking about books, let me tell you what I actually read. So for November I started the month with God of Wrath by Rina Kent, which I gave 4.5 stars. It was my favorite from the series so far. And then I read Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which is the second book after Bride, and I gave it 4 stars. And that was it for the books, I only read 2. Now for the manga/manhwas, I read Opposites Attract, then I read Soft and Squishy, and finally Reasons for Disqualification. And for now, I don't give any ratings for anything besides books, but I came up with a system similar to the pitch rating system I use for the books, but the one I created is only for mangas, manhwas, light novels, etc. But I'm only going to use it starting in January, when I start my new reading journal. But if you need something like that and want to learn more about it, check out my 2026 reading journal setup, which was the previous video, and I explain it a little more there. For the title, I wanted to recreate the font in another sticker sheet the best I could, because it didn't have the exact words I wanted, which was books I read, so I did that myself, and then I used the This Month stickers to complete the title. Then I just have to put the covers on the middle, and that's all for the initial spreads for November. We can now move on to the book reviews. So the first spread we're doing is for God of Wrath. This is the third book in the Legacy of God series. It's a dark romance, and I liked the previous two books, God of Malice and God of Pain, but they had always something that didn't sit well with me. But this one, oh boy, I love Cicely and Jeremy. Honestly, where can I find a Jeremy for myself? Honestly, in the beginning I was quite skeptical about him because of the other two books, but I ended up really loving him. All the things he did for Cicely, it was chef's kiss. And for Cicely, I really connected with her, especially because she also loves BL mangas, which, come on, where can you find an MC that loves that? And you know what? He builds a bookshelf for her. Yep, that's a reason to read this book. I'm putting quite a lot of houses and furniture decoration on the spread because it's quite relevant to the book, a house in specific, but I can't tell you much about it because it would be a spoiler, so let's talk about other things. This series is all set on an island, and this island is in the UK. It has two universities, one called the Royal Elite, which is all British students, and the other is the King's Hugh College, and this one is for the Americans. And of course, they each have their own secret club, and they hate each other. Well, Cicely is from the Royal Elite, and Jeremy is from the King's Hugh, and they hate each other right from the first sight, because Cicely is friends with Annika, Jeremy's younger sister, and it can be quite controlling, which angers Cicely, and she really tells him that, so they really don't get along. But Jeremy discovers something about Cicely in a certain field, if you catch my drift, and now he wants her to be true to herself and really uncover that part of herself, the one that's hidden very deep inside her, and only Jeremy understands it. Now on the spread, I'm using the same letter stamps I used for the other two books to keep something consistent throughout the whole series, and I think it actually matches the book covers quite well and the aesthetic of it all. Then I chose a quote to put on the spread, and one I chose was, "I'd rather be smashed and broken to pieces with you than be whole without you." And I'm just in love with this one. I think it really shows the whole vibe of the book, and honestly, I really loved it. But if you read this one, please read the content warnings first. It has very dark themes and things that happened before that are quite disturbing. And also, this can be read as a complete standalone. You don't have to read the others to understand this one, because the author tells you everything you need to know. So for the plot, I gave 4 out of 5. For enjoyment, I gave 4.5. Artistry, I gave 4. The characters, I gave 5. And for heart, I gave 4.5, which in total is 22 out of 25, so it gives me a 4.4 stars, which I rounded to 4.5 stars. Even though I loved this book, it wasn't a 5-star for me. I'm really trying to only give 5 stars to the books that really stuck with me, like Hunting Adeline, the Mindfuck series, and Lights Out, for example. We are done with this book, so let's continue on to Mate. This spread turned out to be my favorite, so now I'll tell you about the book. This is the follow-up for Bride. Bride was a story between Misery, she's a vampire, and Lo, which is a werewolf, or were as she calls it. So now in Mate we are following Serena. She's Misery's best friend and also a hybrid between a human and a were. And Cohen, he's an alpha. I think it's better to read Bride before this one because it gives you some background for some situations that happen in Mate, so thankfully I did. And actually, at the end of Bride, we have a really small thing that gives the hint of something happening between Serena and Cohen. So Serena is one of a kind, and for many, a possible chance to solve the centuries-long rift between vampires, wares, and humans. But instead of that, she becomes a target, and the only thing that can keep her safe is staying with Cohen, her mate. Even though they don't have feelings for each other, or so they think, Cohen still needs to keep Serena safe. That's his own obligation as her mate. But that's quite difficult because she not only needs to worry about the 3 species that are after her, but also her past, which she thought was buried long ago, seems to be catching up to her. And sooner or later, Cohen might be the only thing standing between her and total annihilation. I really liked this one, but I still loved Bride more, but this was also pretty enjoyable. I really liked Serena, she was so funny at times, and I liked Cohen. It was not my favorite, but they were a cute couple. This is a very slow burn, like really slow. The physical things only happen in the last third of the book, I think, and it's fine to create tension and things like that, but I think it went really fast out of nowhere. I would enjoy much more smaller things throughout the book than everything at the same time. And the whole problem with her health was solved so quickly after not knowing anything for months, but okay. And then, I don't know, I didn't really like the pack members. The whole council thing was such a stupid thing. I mean, I understand it, it just pissed me off so much. But I really enjoyed the plot, it was very interesting, especially Serena's past, which I can't talk about, but I don't know, in the end it missed something. Okay, now on the spread I used my alcohol markers to recreate the title on the book cover, and it has this glow in the middle of the letters, which I tried to do with a lighter color, and I really liked how it turned out in the end. Then for the quote I chose, "I would throw away my pack, my life, and my entire world for you." This one is very cute, and when you read the book, you understand a little more about the whole pack and council thing. And then for the pitch rating, I gave everything a 4 out of 5, which means we get a 20 out of 25, so a solid 4-star read. Now that the book reviews are done, let's begin my manhwa collages, and we are starting with Opposites Attract. So the main couple is this one, the two brunettes, and the side couple, which I really liked as well, is the white hair guy with the black hair one. So Kwon Yoon-tak, I'm saying that wrong, is a college student who is a gay top who ended up falling for a sophomore, Lee Do-jae, who is far from the usual type he goes for. Yoon-tak is falling in love while he learns that Do-jae is an infamous fuckboy, but still he gets drawn towards him. So of course there's so much that can go wrong, but the sides eventually flip and the obsessed one is no longer Yoon-tak. And then for the side couple, Yubin, the dark-haired one, is Yuntak's best friend and roommate, and when he was younger, he took care of Yuk, the white-haired guy. And since then, Yuk has been in love with Yubin, but Yubin doesn't care and tries to dismiss it. And that's basically the whole interactions between them, but it was a very cute story. I just wished that the main couple story wasn't so extensive. They had so many unnecessary arguments, and I was getting tired of it by the end. But overall, it was a fun story, very emotional, but still very cute. Also, Doge has a type of autism, it's mentioned, and the story talks about that, how he doesn't process the emotions as we do, and that's a problem, not the autism, but not being able to understand Yuntak, and that barrier just kept growing. But Doje's mom was such a sweetheart, I just loved her so much, and it was very interesting seeing that dynamic between mother and son when she knows that Doje isn't a very easy person to understand, and that leaving him was okay if Yuntak didn't felt comfortable. It broke my heart, but it was such an important moment in their relationship. Next we have Soft and Squishy, and guys, this was such a stupid story, let me tell you. Jiuming, the brown hair guy, had always considered Baek-gyung to be his closest friend, someone he could share anything with, someone he knew inside and out. Or so he thought, until the day he found himself holding Baek-gyung's incredibly smooth and hairless organ down there. Jiuming's mind was thrown into a whirlwind of confusion as he found himself inexplicably drawn to Baek-gyung. And driven by a mix of embarrassment, confusion, and a strange newfound attraction, Jiuming hatched a devious plan. He got a hair growth product that could potentially transform Baek-gyung's smooth, hairless base into a furry wonderland. And that's the actual summary, with some tweaks of mine. So as you can see, it's a very weird plot, it's stupid, but it was funny at times. I don't agree with anything that happened there, but oh well. Of course, I had to use some type of decoration that was outlandish to match the actual story, so I decided to use peaches, so I could always remember what this is all about. And now for the final manhwa, we have Reasons for Disqualification. And this was a very dark and psychological story, just as I like it. So Jin Lee-rock, the blue hair guy, is a drug investigation detective, and he's haunted by the past guilt of not being able to save his former friend and colleague. As he chases after a drug gang, he crosses paths with a strange man named An Tae-yuk that he met at a bar during his friend's death anniversary and ended up having a one-night stand with him. But of course, there's more to Tae-yuk, and because of the investigation, Lee-rock has to work together with him and trust him because he doesn't have another option. This is the story of their regrets over a past that cannot be changed as they race towards revenge. And you guys know, not everything is as it seems. I found this story so interesting and well explained, but the thing is, the ending was a little rushed, and the actual end of the investigation happened so fast. I think it would be much more enjoyable if we could see more of the developments and what happened after that, because Tae-yuk did something to Lee-rock because of that investigation and the drug-related gang, and that for me wasn't very forgivable. And next thing we know, everything's fine after a few years, I think. But overall, if you like action, this is a great story. Sometimes the art wasn't my favorite, but that's subjective. For you, it might be very enjoyable. For the spread, I used these very deep blue flowers from a pre-cut PET tape to match the aesthetic and the cover of the manhwa, and I really like how it turned out in the end. And it's time for the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like, subscribe, and leave an autumn leaf in the comments to let me know you watched it till the end. Even though this November wasn't a very productive month for my reading, I think that's okay. We all have ups and downs in our reading journey, so November was just a down month for me. But I'm not disappointed because I read less. I'm actually happy with the quality of the books I read. I really like them, and that's what really matters. My favorite spread has to be the one for Mate. I just love the greens and the whole foresty vibe that I tried to create here. It was so fun. Also, tell me in the comments which book from the Legacy of Gods is your favorite, and also tell me if you prefer Bride or Mate. My favorite is still Bride, so let me know your own opinion. I hope you have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!